Hello, this is Marsh Monster. I just got done fixing my dishwasher. I have had a problem with this thing for probably about a year or two. Year, I guess. Not really cleaning sometimes. I mean, it wouldn't get the dishes really clean. And today it backed up into the kitchen floor. And this thing was full of water. And I couldn't figure out what's going on. I looked on YouTube, found some videos about how to take it apart and all this after the fact, after I'd done tore it all apart and tried to fix it. And basically what it did was everything I seen said, check it because it's not draining. I could hear the pump was running, but it just wasn't draining. And basically I pulled the dishwasher out, and you can take these two screws out, that one and that one, and it will slide straight out. Usually they'll slide out into the floor to where you can work on it if they got long enough power cable and water line and drain line. So basically what I did was once I slid it out, we vacuumed the water out of it, and I slid it out, and I found a couple videos. They shows these guys, they're swishing their fingers around in there. Whatever you do, don't do that, because I found a chip about that big around, a ceramic chip off a plate down in there, which was blocking the drain, was one problem. And before, about 3 years ago, I found a shard of busted glass. I mean, it was about that big. I mean, there's a whole top of the glass down there. There was two pieces of it. So whatever you do, don't stick your fingers down that water and swish them around or anything, because there may be a piece of broken glass down there or a shard of something. So basically what I did was took all of that part apart, and there's videos on there. I won't show you how to do that, but there's videos on there on how to take that apart. You take those two screws out, and you can vacuum the stuff out of it. But what I did was, when I slid it out, I pulled the drain line going. The drain line goes across the dishwasher and back up that way to the garbage disposal over there in the sink. And what I did was I pulled the drain line off down here, and when I did, I found this actually in the pump. And this is actually supposed to be, this was on the drain line side, stuck in the drain line. This was actually supposed to be on the other side. It's a flap, basically, that keeps the water from running back up in there. There we go. It's supposed to actually be flat. It's not supposed to look like that, but apparently it went through the pump, and that's what was causing it not to wash dishes very good for a long time. And then that went through the pump, got stuck in the inlet at some point, and the exhaust, I guess you should say, the exit where the water goes out to be flushed. That was in there. Then I found a chip inside there that was blocking it. But one thing I wanted to tell you, I didn't see anybody do this when they took the pump off. And I wished I had videotaped this, but I was right in the middle of it because we had water all over the kitchen floor where this thing had overflowed. When I slid it out, I pulled the pump off and unplug it underneath your cabinet. And if it doesn't have a plug, you can go down and throw the breaker in the basement. Unplug the pump and pull the pump off, because that's when I found that rubber thing in there and the exit line. And I was able to take there's a rubber hose about yay long that goes from the bottom drain here to the pump. It feeds the water to the pump. And what I did was I took my shop vac, instead of putting it on the vacuum side, I put it on the blowing side, and basically blew air from that black tube out here into this outlet right here, and basically blew a whole bunch of garbage back up into, it was paper is what it was, from putting like cans and stuff in there to recycle them. It was paper, shreds of paper. It blew all that stuff back up inside there. So if you can't get it to drain, definitely take that pump off. It took me, once I got the dishwasher out here, it took me maybe 10 minutes at best to pull that pump. And you don't even have to pull the screws out of the pump. I didn't need to take it off. I was just taking it off because I wanted to check the impeller and stuff, and I I got a bad back, so I didn't want to bend down there and look in it. So I wanted to look at everything inside there. It was clean inside there, but I run some water through it. I run some water back through it to make sure there wasn't no garbage caught in there either. But what you can do is, like I said, just take that hose that on your shop vac and blow into that. You got to have a small, see that inlet? I don't know if you can see that inlet. See that inlet? Sorry about that. That inlet or that exhaust. I just pushed that up against there and held it by hand. And when I did, it blew a bunch of trash. I'm sorry about that. Blew a bunch of trash out of that hole up into there. So definitely worth doing. Would have just taken that rubber thing out of there and put it all back together, and it probably would have worked okay. It probably would have worked good, but that paper was causing it to. To mess up. It was getting wadded up. We got wadded up in there. And then we cleaned the screens and stuff. I'm going to put that back together. But I closed it up and ran it through a wash cycle, a rinse cycle, quick rinse cycle, and it's sucking the pump sucking the water out. And I'll tell you, if you clean everything out, because what I also did too was my exit hose or my drain hose going to the sink to the sink. I also took that and put it on vacuum and sucked everything backwards, just in case there was something. And I had my daughter turn the water on in the faucet in the sink up there, had her turn the water on here to where water was running down in there, running down that hose, and I was sucking it back through there, because you can kind of back flush it. That way, if there's anything stuck in there that won't go on through, you're not pushing it. If you try to flush it going the other way, it's not going to it's going to get stuck even better. But we sucked some trash out of there also. So, but one thing I've realized with this is, if you're going to go through the process of taking all this apart and cleaning it and everything, it's definitely worth removing those 2 screws and pulling it out and checking that pump just to make sure that this valve hasn't failed before you go buy a dishwasher. It's definitely worth, seeing if that's failed. I took that out of there. I don't know. It may be a mistake. I'm not saying that you should do that, but I'm just telling you, I took mine out of there and I run that I run that sink up there completely full of water, and my garbage disposal has a flapper in it, a rubber flapper in the end of the garbage disposal that's supposed to keep water from going back down that way. So I didn't get any water at all in here. I do know that you want to watch out, because they say, that if you fill that sink up or whatever and you don't have a valve in there, well, this thing ain't had a valve, and I can't tell you when. As long as your hose is on the inside of this wall when you slide it out, there's 2 notches that got notches in them to hold the hose. There's little clamps. Make sure that drain hose, make sure that hose is not just laying on the floor. You want to make sure it's snapped into that and it's making a U shape and going down, because that creates a P-trap like underneath your sink. It creates a P-trap. So I think that's what's been keeping the water out of there. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And like I said, if you got any advice or ideas, criticism, I'll take it. Doesn't matter. I just curious as to what people have found in their dishwashers. Like I said, I've what's the strangest thing you ever found? I watched a video from Jonah. It was kind of funny. He had hair in there, and I was like, how in the world do you get hair in your dishwasher? But anyway, hopefully that helps somebody out there fix their dishwasher. And I have this one's a Kenmore. I think they're all basically the same. It's a Kenmore Quiet Guard. Basically cheapest dishwasher you can buy, because it just washes dishes, all it does for me. But anyway, hopefully that helps somebody. And like I said, like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like that. And appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye.